Minister of Tourism, Honorable Dr. Abdullah Mausoom, Maldives Ambassador to Germany, His Excellency Mr. Ahmad Latif, other delegates attending this webinar, a very good morning. And I welcome you all to the Maldives Tourism Sector Investment Webinar. My name is Shinan. I am the Director of Planning at the Ministry of Tourism, and today I'll be giving you all a brief on the existing and upcoming investment opportunities for tourism in the Maldives. Towards the end of my presentation, I will share a link and a QR code to the white paper report and also this presentation. We'll start off with a short introduction about the Maldives and then have a brief overview of the Maldives as a destination. Next, we'll be looking at the investment procedures and opportunities in the Maldives in detail. So, to start off, the Maldives is a small island nation located in the heart of the Indian Ocean. And the Maldives comprises of a total of 1,192 small islands with a population of more than 568,000 people, which is distributed in 26 geographical atolls. Ever since tourism started in the Maldives in 1972, we've got around 159 islands developed as tourist resorts as of today. Further, we have roughly more than 150 projects still under development, and these are resort, hotels, and guest house developments. Next slide. In Maldives, we have 4 international airports established throughout the country, which you can see from here, and 1 in south, 2 in north, and the most widely used international airport in the central region, which is Welana International Airport, all of which practices free honorable visa procedure for tourists. From this slide, Maldives is well connected to the rest of the world. We have direct flights coming from Middle East, from Qatar, from Dubai, and also from the Asian region. We have good connection to America and also to the Pacific via Singapore, Sri Lanka, and also Malaysia. This slide depicts the various airlines that operate to the Maldives as of 3rd March 2021. Since the border reopened, we opened our borders, as the minister mentioned already, 15th July 2020 after the closure in March 2020. I want to also highlight that we maintain a very liberal aviation policy with air service agreements with 48 countries globally. Here are the number of registered tourist facilities in the Maldives. We have resorts, hotels, guest houses, and liveaboards registered at the ministry for tourist accommodation. As a notable achievement, I would like to highlight here as well that since the border reopening, now we have more than 90% of these registered facilities reopened. Looking at the nominal GDP contribution figures as of 2019, tourism has maintained its position as the #1 contributor to the GDP directly as well as indirectly, with 26.3% contribution directly and more than 70% contribution to the GDP indirectly. So despite the closure of the borders from March till July 2020, we've managed to reach a number of more than 555,000 tourists by the end of the year 2020. This was the result of the hard work and efforts put by the industry stakeholders. So far this year, we have seen a good bounce back and in arrivals. As of yesterday, we stand close to 300K in arrivals. This graph visualizes the average duration of stay of guests in 2019 and 2020 comparatively. The average duration of stay of tourists have increased from 6.3 nights in 2019 to an average of 7.3 nights in 2021. And the Maldives Visitor Survey conducted biannually, every year biannually, have shown that European visitors stay for longer duration compared to the Asian travelers. This chart shows the occupancy rates in 2019 and 2020. Here you can see the effects of global pandemic, notably visible throughout the mid-2020. So this is the top markets of 2019. The top markets of 2019 were China, India, Italy, Germany, and UK respectively. And the top markets for 2020 were India, Russia, UK, Italy, and Germany. So we can see here, Germany has been in our top 5 markets in 2019 as well as 2020. From here, we'll be looking at the Maldives as a destination from a marketing perspective. So this is the official slogan of the Maldives, the sunny side of life. Next slide. Despite it being one of the most challenging year last year, the sector, we have had notable achievements, and the Maldives has accomplished within the past year the world's leading destination award of 2020 at the World Travel Awards, as well as we have got the Safe Travel stamp by the World Travel and Tourism Council last year. This is the efforts made by the industry stakeholders to make the destination safe and a secure one. One of the key USPs of the Maldives, especially during this global pandemic, is that the islands are very much self-contained in the Maldives, and it can be said that the natural social distancing is maintained in the Maldives because we've got resorts in one island, one resort concept. So with the implementation of the 10th Amendment last year to the Tourism Act, the Maldives tourism product now can be greatly diversified, and new USPs can be developed with this 10th Amendment, and integrated tourism development projects, Strata villas, and also private islands are also possible in Maldives now. So these are some of the positioning techniques used by the brand in tourism industry, out of which we all know that Maldives is well known and positioned well for the romantic side of life for honeymooners. So yeah, so this slide shows things you can do in the Maldives. You'll never run out of things to do here in the Maldives. From diving, snorkeling to island hopping, even cruising within the atolls, or even the tourists can indulge in different experiences ranging from underwater restaurants to underground wine cellars. So these are the international brands in the Maldives operating. And the next slide, this is also some of the international brands that are operating in the Maldives currently. So finally, we can have a look at the investment opportunities and procedures within the Maldives now. Next slide. 2021 has been labeled as the year of investment, and a great deal of the year will be focused on bringing valuable investment into the Maldives from all over the world. So now you'll be thinking, why should you be investing in the Maldives? The answer is simple. With our development duty concessions, strong legislative framework, and tax incentives, investors are assured an excellent return on investment, which is an average of 7 to 10 years normally. It is also important to highlight here that 100% foreign direct investments are also allowed in the Maldives. So as previously mentioned, the Maldives make a great destination for investments due to the country being easily accessible with liberal aviation policies, and also with the convenient visa procedures. The Maldives also focus very much on the sustainable development practices, and some of the policies in this regard we have are the environmentally conscious construction policies, and also the focus on the low carbon developments. Here you can see the some of the highlights of the 10th Amendment to the Tourism Act. As I've mentioned before, to integrated tourism development projects such as private islands, real estate tourism can now be established in the Maldives. With the 10th Amendment also came the change in the land rents, which will be highlighted later in later slides, and also the lease period extension have also been enacted through the 10th Amendment. Currently, initial leases in the tourism is for 50 years, which can be extended up to 99 years. As I mentioned, here you can see the land rent variation according to the geographical locations, with lower rates for the areas that we need more tourism development. So here you can see the land rent is $4 per square meter per annum for the northernmost atolls, $8 per square meter per annum for the central atolls, $6 per square meter per annum for the southern, and $2 per square meter for the southernmost atoll, which is Sinu and Nyaviani atoll. Now we'll be looking at the investment opportunities available within the Maldives. So a total of 28 islands have now been allocated to be leased for tourism in 2021, and the leasing process is to be continued in 3 phases. So these are the classic profiles of the islands that can be found in the Maldives, and that will be open for the bidding. These are small islands or sandbanks which can be reclaimed prior to initiating the key construction process. However, this reclamation, I want to highlight that these reclamations are possible on a controlled basis. This slide, you can see the reclamation criteria. The first environment management plan shall be submitted and approved. After that, environmental impact assessment will be done. And only 30% of the shallow lagoon can be reclaimed, and 60% of the shallow lagoon can be developed for tourism. And also we have to highlight that as per the reclamation guidelines, 10 meters from the reef edge will be restricted for development zones. Secondly, these are the classic islands which you see, the one island, one resort concept, which is normally developed on these islands. These are usually the size of these islands range from 8 to 10 hectares. We've got rich natural vegetation and beaches in these islands. So here you can see the clusters of islands will also be up for bidding this year, and this is quite a unique formulation of islands which can be developed into a unique tourism product with multiple facilities in different islands. We also have a plot of lands on uninhabited islands. In these islands, a certain part of the island will be open for lease and development for tourism. And also we've got community tourism development. So this is where the plot of lands in inhabited or local islands come in place. So we'll be leasing and it will be open for bid. Such plots will also be open for bid and for the development of guest houses as well as hotels. Recently, we had 32 such plots awarded from Addu City, which is the southernmost atoll, and currently in the bidding process is ongoing for 62 plots in the same city. Similarly, a plot of land from Kela, which is in Ha Alif, which is the northernmost atoll of the country, was awarded for the development of a tourist hotel, including the lagoon area surrounding the plot of land. Here's the list of the islands. As I've mentioned before, here's the list. This is the list that have been allocated for tourism development, and we'll be leasing out accordingly phase by phase. So the first phase, we have already completed the first phase of leasing, and the second phase will be open soon for tender. This list will also be available from our website, and also this presentation, as I mentioned before, will be available from the link and the QR code, which I'll be sharing towards the end of this presentation. On this slide, you'll see the full process we follow at the Ministry for the leasing of island, sort of lagoons or land, from the announcement of the bid to the submission to the agreement stage. Normally, these processes takes approximately 3 to 4 months to get agreemented. Yeah. So these are the documents that have to be submitted and completed in the bid submission and when submitting your proposals. Our evaluation for these bids or this leasing is very objective. So we require a very minimal documentation while submitting the bid proposals. Yeah, before I conclude, I would like to just highlight on the ongoing tourism properties under development. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we have got approximately 150 properties under development, and currently we are working on a mechanism to kickstart the halted project out of these. There are some of the projects ongoing which are halted. So we are also looking for investment opportunities for such developments. So I believe this is also a great opportunity to invest in as an operator or sublessee or any of these forms. Yeah, that's all, and thank you for taking your time and listening to my presentation. So as I mentioned, if you want a copy of this presentation and also the white paper report, you can access by scanning the QR code, and and also the link will be shared at the chat box now. From here, I'll pass the floor to our Deputy Minister, Dr. Naushad, to wrap up. Deputy Minister, Dr. Naushad.